in that or yachra Ghana fu nyina ye NDC fu bimpono ka ho a me hu won no na utim se Ghana fu eni abre ampa.
Every citizen who cherishes freedom must rise loud, bold and fearless. We must organize, mobilize and strategize until this diabolical agenda is brought to its knees. President Mahama has arbitrarily dismissed senior military officers with years of faithful service. He has gutted the Ghana Armed Forces of professionals, experience and neutrality. The head of the judiciary is being dragged through a sham process of removal from office, engineered by a desperate president and a rubber stamp by a failed Council of State. A number of guests at his inauguration told this story. Military dictators, authoritarian sympathizers, men of iron fists and empty conscience.
Mema etiefo ni ahwefo akwaba ediban koda media TV so samiri edini ye kachiri eja ya odi asempa jumedia watu ndi chirechirem ena me de bre etiefo ni ahwefo ti dedi kan reba so mesra no subscribe to koda media TV jumedia ni koso na wa like na wa share na onu bi so enya bi eti enne asam ka CBC Ghana ha eye oye chire ka CBA political parties na ye editia Omampeni John Dramani Mahama eye ne steps ana na adwene bi a waye de hintaw na orupushi ni kakra na agenda bi se obeyi chief justice afi aponwane so na ono de ni chief justice open asem obetimi ni no aye frakadan bia ho abehye ho na eyina emra kwan mu no wohwe ya na wo hu se petitions na wo de bre Omampeni John Dramani Mahama wo forward to chief justice na aba out mpire no nsu ngine bia mu a e kire se mamena to menti esese weyi no nanso papa no ya na waye na adwen se obeyi mamena fi ho na ode ne chief justice aba emra no so nkire sa esa na wabu mra no so enti na oye kire Ghana fu nyina ye NDC fu bimpono ka ho a me hu won no na utim se Ghana fu eni abre ampa. We are talking about the rule of law na no no Omampeni John Dramani pese odan ani na oye ne nkrakra ngu wani nti ugina kira obesusu se ehia abenkwan nso na ase ye nkrakra eno na nipa bi dodo na akoetia nde dwumadi kase a eye demonstration etimi apaso na koda media TV ye call dwumadi nase nti o present petition de koma Omampeni wo Jubilee House no the leader of minority mighty minority honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin usia nsanhyirafo wani muhara wiani muhara na wutin obene manani abre papa na odan sembi edi kire etiefo ne ahwefo na enye no nkuto Jomboadu ka ho na Titus Glover former Greater Accra Region Minister ana Kofi Apalu ono so ka ho ona boye odichum former Educational Minister ana Mame Patricia Apiaje ana won akoka ho ndisi fo mu de mintimi mbo wondi esan se wo mi bo wondi mpa asembeto wo wenyina ebe establish one this pressure against decision Omampeni John Dramani Mahama opese utu enti mumienko na yenkoti nsama honorable minority leader Kwamina Afenyo Markin okay.
Since assuming office, His Excellency the President has weaponized the security services, deploying them in retrogressive BNDC-style raids on the homes of political opponents. Dr. Addison, former Governor Bank of Ghana, and Kenoforiata are victims of such onslaught, including the ADC to former Vice President Mahama. We say to NDC, This is not governance. It is tyranny, cloaked in the robes of democracy. Additionally, President Mahama has arbitrarily dismissed senior military officers with years of faithful service. He has gutted the Ghana Armed Forces of professionals, experience, and neutrality. Our military, once revered for its non-partisanship, is now being painted in NDC colors. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous betrayal of the Republic. And why? Because President Mahama no longer sees himself as a president. He fancies himself an autocrat, a ruler for life. A number of guests at his inauguration told this story. Military dictators, authoritarian sympathizers, men of iron fists and empty conscience. And as if to erase all doubt, he donned full military regalia at a recent armed forces event, parading as commander of a nation he plans to subdue, not to serve. His every gesture speaks to a sinister agenda to break the constitution, amend it, and prolong his grips on power, abetted by a judiciary he is desperate to capture. This explains the relentless siege on the judiciary. A judiciary that has stood as a last bulwark between autocracy and freedom is now his target. Today, the Chief Justice, Gertrude Araba Isaba Saki Tokonu, a distinguished servant of this republic, is under siege. The head of the judiciary is being dragged through a sham process of removal from office, engineered by a desperate president and a rubber stamp by a failed Council of State. Their goal is not justice, it is intimidation. It is a warning shot to every judge: obey or be broken. They do not seek a judiciary that upholds the law. They seek one that bows to the will of a dictator, a bench bent to serve power, not principle. They seek to install kangaroo courts under a democratic facade. What is happening is no accident. It is a warning, a threat, a ruthless message to every judicial officer that dissent will be crushed and independence punished. Let us remember that the PNDC, the ideological ancestor of today's NDC, once murdered 3 High Court judges in cold blood. One of them, Justice Cecilia Grantiado, was pregnant. She died with her unborn child, burned, defiled, and erased. That dark memory now casts a shadow once more as a Mahama returned with vengeance in his heart and fear as his airport. Of those judges who were murdered by the PNDC, the ancestor of NDC, 1 minute silence in memory of these judges who were murdered. May their souls and the souls of all the departed in the judicial service who suffered atrocities at the hands of the PNDC and its successor NDC rest in perfect peace. Amen. This time, instead of bullets and fire, the NDC uses nominations and intimidation. He has postponed 7 new appointments to the Supreme Court. Some competent, yes, but selected to serve his diabolical agenda. He wishes to fashion a judiciary in his image, subservient, pliant, loyal to party above law. It is no coincidence that His Excellency titled his memoir, My First Coup d'etat, and what is unfolding in our democratic institutions appear to be the second. But the judiciary is not his only target. Since returning to power, Mahama has embarked on a sweeping purge of the public and civil service. Hundreds of hardworking Ghanaians Professionals who have served government of all stripes with dignity and skill have been dismissed without cause or hounded into false resignation. Their only crime was refusing to wear NDC's colors and submit to its whims. This is a direct assault on the principle of neutrality in our public administration. It is a betrayal of the values enshrined in our constitution, merit, impartiality, and service to the nation, not to any political party. And as if the shameful attacks on the Chief Justice were not enough, President Mahama plans to turn his diabolic side on the Electoral Commission. We hear NDC operatives already out there without shame calling for the removal of the ECJ. They speak of accountability, but who do they think they are misleading? The Attorney General, far from being the guardian of justice, has been reduced to a partisan tool, sweeping away prosecutions against NDC officials and now focusing on MPP officials. Now entangled in a web of allegations and counter-allegations, he has become a perfect reflection of the regime's decay, a symbol not of justice, but of rot in high office. The president himself, who boldly vowed to sanction any appointee who failed to comply with the constitutional mandate to declare asset before assuming public office, has so far failed to sanction these officials who breached his own code. Now he remains silent, lacking the courage to act. Instead of upholding the constitution, his government issues weak denials and evasive statements, shielding the lawless while persecuting the principle. This is not leadership. It is a conspiracy of impunity, a cabal determined to protect its own and crush all who dare to hold them accountable. Let us be clear. This is not politics as usual. This is dangerous, coordinated attack on Ghana's constitutional democracy. And that is why we march today. We march to resist the rise of a new oppressor, one who wears the clothes of democracy, but governs with the spirit of dictatorship. We march not as partisans, but as patrons. We march because of the Constitution demands it, article after article of our supreme law, and joins us to defend the Republic, not with arms, but with truth, courage, and lawful resistance. We must, as citizens, be vigilant. We must be relentless. We must use every constitutional tool at our disposal to oppose the descent into despotism. Every citizen who cherishes freedom must rise, loud, bold, and fearless. We must organize, mobilize, and strategize until this diabolical agenda is brought to its knees. We say to the judiciary, your first duty is the constitution, not this president, not any president. You owe allegiance to the Republic and its people. In these trying times, we do not ask you to take sides. We ask you to stand firm, to stand for justice, to stand for Ghana. And know this, you are not alone, and you will never walk alone. We stand with you and will not falter until judicial independence is restored and protected. And to those judges who have been promised of promotions just to cow you, remember, if today it is Tokonu, tomorrow it will be you. Stand firm. Don't be cowed. Don't be attracted to take promises. Let history record that in the darkest of times, we did not cower to the whims of a despotic ruler in democratic attack. Let it be said that when Ghana's democracy bled, we did not look away. We, the people, stood up. We fought back with valor, and we reclaimed our republic. May God bless our struggle. May God bless our constitution. And may God bless the Republic of Ghana and make it great and strong.
If you say you know, now what you say, I will share placards neswa. Na ayensema ayawero papa e bi chiso mampeni John Dramani Mahama when you judge inti winni mumra ma won kire wo mra e bi chiso mampeni men found some come mammy Gertrude Araba Tokonu men found some cano. His son say, Emrana or Passa would you know, Emrano in Subi and Yirem. Nay, my tree nipa junibi nipa junior quachiri equity 1983. Kwanga NDC 4 day a judge fu be faso na would do na and then praying good the Supreme Court to any more. Ubemu says any pa basan ya why judge for one quan far NDC fu in some na a sure woman for ni na unwebeduaba esisi ho. And no na John Dramani Mahama na jure pese oko sab bia no his son said he was born out of NDC and PNDC PNDC and we P ni we nim kaka na be NDC international muja krorana wadenam na enipa bi kire se wo jeje ro ne so ye saa no saa mrimpo na ye kire se ne humanim enkwa ni papantie fa so yeso yeni buga na wo de wo yo krachi ni wako secondary school awie akọ university akọ tuatua so wo yo krachi ni a wotem nase sebe wonye law but den a wonim ba ko bi abiem ne wo ba yen wayi Dominic ayine na wo na ye wo lawyer panyini se onhwe wa banyi so ntinka biribi mponi a na wo bisa menua saadi ye ye ne den na ono so ama wo advice edi wata mmara to nkon ho na ne ye nipa bufu kura ne se 1992 constitution ya ne enene amamra Ghana fo nyina wo yusi wayo 1992 samre no na NDC funkuto na parliament enti isi den ne mra mamode aba wo pese wo se no ama pese ofa kwati kwan bi aso na onye mfia nan kọ ni aka ni mfia nan na ede na nim no ho isan se san mfia nan otwa wie pa sa na mamra ne kire nanka oni mre fufuru bi abiu na otimi dan ne ma bi ani echichire nipa bi nsa gunwachi boduam ma otimi sisa ne ma mudi a na wanya mfia nan aka ho na kire akọye mfia wotwe na ne no kura no bible kan so nipa nkwanna esi mfia duoson aboro so aduowotwe na aduowotwe mu mpo no eyo hawo ne amane enti o hawo ne amane na Mahama opese ode yekom saa mere no wadwene ne wunyansa nyina asa dan a onipa biara de wuri nyin no na adwene ye den na esai adwene ye den na esai enti na constitution ma mfia otwe da wudu twa wotwe ne wi a na saa adwene no na aye ye de kirihia na se wotwe ho no foforo so ye den eba mempeni Mahama 2012 udi agwai kusi 2016 na woto abatia ma party gu dinkugu ni mugase kwanso Ghana fo hu sani awo ye nenye enokuru ya na waba osaye nti Ghana fo nyina enne wo nyina wo board dompem meka se demonstration a mahu yi to so abien tukumi prekron edikan na yi na to so abien a Ghana fo akire se ampa wombo junior mampeni John Dramani Mahama wo ye ne so nti ye besere mampeni John Dramani Mahama Ghana won anton amaw Ghana wan famfiri Ghana fo ne ko san lai etuaba de maw nti ye ne Ghana fo pe ne wo se won pe no memfa won san kan na oya tintin wotufo a won fa nti oguruni be kasa you have been a tyrant obi ti say Idi Amin saa ni suban ni bi na opese wo fa nenso hai Ghana ahanye Uganda nti ye be srew se demonstration ne wo hwɛ kasa wo kasai petition no ntwere nsɛm awom obekenkan ni nyinaa na wahu na wagya ne awoyɛ no esan sɛ wanyae a demonstration fufuru bi ebetua so no anya na akwakoyo mamu no nyinaa regional capital bia be yibi e de atiawo neyi wo se ni mantimi wa etote kontama na nya dakoro e na wotubu batwa frawa empafe ebisi Koda Media TV so ni edin ye ka kire eja yahudi ansempa tumedia watu ndi kyerɛkyerɛ mu e na mede abrɛmu yɛbɛtoa so.